a lot of more beneficent and merciful. I'm Dr. Nomanali Vasanfa. I'm a 6 years urology MRCS, working as a senior clinical fellow in UK. We belong to surgical educations, where you can take the inquiries at info@the-rate-of surgicaleducation.com. This is basically a small PowerPoint presentation on MRCS exam, in which we will be talking about the study material, paper patterns, and do's and don'ts for MRCS Part A and Part B. This is our group, and our supervisor, Dr. Ramin Nawaz. He is a liver transplant surgeon in College, London. First of all, we need to see why we want an MRCS. Because it's a universally accepted degree, and now for the last 1.5 years, you cannot directly sit in FRCS. No matter how senior you are, but you have to appear in MRCS first. Now for FRCS, MRCS is a mandatory requirement. It is also a mandatory, almost mandatory requirement if you want to progress in your area in UK and enter specialty and registrar post. It's almost impossible to get a registrar post without an MRCS. Another thing for international medical graduates, this is a way to get a GMC. And by this way you can exempt lab, you don't have to get lab. The only drawback of getting a GMC through MRCS is that if you bypass lab, you will not be able to get the alternate pathway in Australia through MRCS. That only happens through lab. But as far as UK is concerned, after MRCS and your IELTS or OET, you are good to go for GMC. People are in Middle East, Saudi and Dubai, they also go for MRCS to improve their pay packages. And some people in Pakistan and India, they do this MRCS. They never have an intention to go to UK, but they just want to add it to the CV or add a UK degree. So these are the different reasons why someone will do an MRCS. MRCS consists of two parts. There is Part A and Part B. And there are 4 colleges basically. They conduct the same exam as a combined body. There are London, Ireland, Edinburgh and Glasgow. Whichever college you will apply to, you will get a degree of that college. For example, I have my degree from Edinburgh. The reason I preferred Edinburgh was it has more international centers and more chances of getting a success if you have more exam days available. That's the only reason I preferred Edinburgh. Otherwise, there is no difference in exam. How to apply? So there are different websites. For Royal College of Edinburgh, the website is www.rcsed.ac.uk. It happens 3 to 4 times a year in the center. And if you are willing to go to UK as well, there are more dates obviously. The requirement for MRCS are very simple. You just need an MBBS degree, with MRCS and MRCS. As long as you have your house job done, and you are a registered medical practitioner, you can appear for MRCS. There is no additional additional surgical experience required. This is a very common question asked by the students, that do we need any surgical experience? No. You don't need any surgical experience apart from your house job. You should be a registered medical practitioner, and that's all. There are different ways to go on the website, download an application form, fill it online or manually, and the main problem that the students encounter, that there are very few slots available. And the days when they are announced, they're normally filled with Pakistanis and Indians and Bangladeshis within half an hour. And another problem is that you have to pay through a UK account or a UK bank card or a card that is acceptable in UK. It can be Visa or MasterCard. The cards that are commonly available in Pakistan, you can also pay through them if you enable an online banking. And some photos. So a pretty simple way. This is the screenshots of the website from where you can choose your exam and select your exam where you want to give it and book it. And this window will appear in front of you. You can apply. Again, just a small publicity for our course. Conducted by Dr. Raman Nawaz. I was one of his students 9 years ago. Then I joined his faculty. And now I'm working in UK for the last 4 or 5 years now. This is one of my recommended courses. MRCS A is basically very similar to Part 1 of CPSP. The paper method I mean. There are 2 exams that are conducted on the same day. Section 1 and Section 2. With 1 hour break between them. They will not be providing any food or meal in between the 2 papers. You have to make sure that you have something to eat in your car or a parent or a friend outside your exam center to provide you with meal. Otherwise, your hypoglycemia will affect your performance. Paper 1 is basically 180 MCQs. Previously, they used to have EMQs and math questions. You don't have it anymore now. So they're basically 180 MCQs and you have 3 hours to do it. Basically one MCQ per minute. A major portion is from monotony. 80 to 90 questions are from monotony, and that makes sense because it's a surgical exam. Rest are from pathophysiology. A very small portion, about 3 to 5 MCQs, also from community research and pharmacology sometimes, but they are very minor. You don't need to do anything special for them. Paper 2, that will be conducted on the same day. So paper 1 was basically anatomy, physio, and pathology, including basics. As I said, very similar to Part 1 CPSP or MS exam in Pakistan. Paper 2 is different. It contains 120 MCQs and 2 hours to do that. These are from general surgery and allied. By allied we mean urology, orthopedic, thoracic, neurosurgery, trauma, ALS, BLS, and other stuff. So basically that's why they say that you have to have some experience in postgraduate level to pass the MRCS exam. Otherwise there is no experience requirement, but just to do paper 2, you need to have some experience in surgery so that you are able to understand the question well. But if you are an extraordinary student that you can memorize information from books, you don't need any surgical experience as such. As I said, paper 2 will be from general surgery, urology, ortho, peds surgery, neurosurgery, trauma, thoracic, vascular, and plastic. These are few examples of how to select and what is an MCQ. You have been doing it since your childhood, so I don't need to go into further details. There will be questions from anatomy. There will be questions from physiology, pathology, general surgery, and allied. How to prepare for MRCS Part A? Normally what I do, I divide my preparation into 2 halves. When I'm preparing, for example, if I have 4 months, I I visit hard 2 months to textbooks and reading and strengthening my own knowledge. To do that in MRCS, you can have past test revision notes. You don't have to memorize the whole book. Just skim through the important topics. You can also do rapid basic science review. And rapid for MRCS has also become very popular. And some people also use mini snell, the smaller review, the snell review, for an rapid, because an rapid is so important in MRCS. Then, in the other half of my exam, preparation, for example, for 2.5 months, I will go for mark with MRCS, Charles Knowles MRCS MCQ collection, then there is MCQ collection by Christopher Chan, MCQ collection by Im Lemon, and on examination. These are very small collections of MCQs. Don't get flattered by the amount of books that I have mentioned. These are basically collections of 500, 600 MCQs that you can finish within 3-4 days. And then you can do a round robin with them and do them again and again. A very, very useful tool is EMRCS tool. I recommend this very much for Part A. It basically contains a collection of MCQs, and you can memorize them and do them again and again. It contains anatomy, it contains basis, it contains surgery aligned. Some people who have very, very strong basis and very good student, they also just do MRCS pool 2 to 3 times and then they go for the exams. So this is very important resource. Schedule it about 3 to 4 months without any second jobs, approximately 5 hours of study. As I said, divide your preparation into 2 halves, one for the textbook, other for the pool books, EMRCS, or past test, or whatever MCQ pool you prefer. There are also some MRCS recalls available on the internet. I obviously cannot share it here because of the copyrights. And also there are some personal efforts of students who have collected pools of the previous MCQs that you can share between them. Reason for failure in MRCS A: half-hearted attempts that never help, lack of orientation. But hopefully you will have orientation by the end of this lecture. Spending too much time on syllabus and textbooks, not enough practical practice of MCQs. What happened that we are spending too much time on knowledge and reading textbooks because we have a habit of reading and we don't practice MCQ tools. In my estimation, if you do 5,000 MCQs or 4,000 MCQs 2 times, you don't even need to go to the textbooks. Spend more time on the pool and less time on the syllabus books. Ran out of time. A very common observation among students. They fail by 1 mark, 2 marks, or 3 marks because they were not able to finish the paper on time. And this is very, very unfortunate. One difference that I want to mention from other Part 1 exams or other basic exams, that we, in Part 1 or other exams, we have a lot of time. We come back to the questions that we have not done before at the end. But in an MRCS, in my personal experience, I find out that it's okay to do the question on the spot if you don't know the answer by making the guesswork. Because you will not be able to come back to it because of the time. You don't have time to go back to the questions that you didn't answer. And then it's a mess. Some people also read books that are not needed. They waste their time, like ballet, anatomy books, your assembly books, Homer's, 100 Aces, flashcards, they're not needed in MRCS. This is not user assembly that you need a very in-depth knowledge. This is more superficial than user assembly. You don't need to be a very deep scholar for that. Spend more time on MCQ books and less time on the test books. Another common reason is that financial struggles. Most of us are doing second jobs. Duties are tough. We are not. What I do, I normally plan my exams near my electrifications. That is an ideal thing to do when you have lighter duties. Mostly overlap with your primary fellowship exams. And another reason of failure is spending too much time on WhatsApp groups and discussing MCQs for hours and hours and wasting your time on just one MCQ rather than studying the subject. So that is one another common reason of failure. As I have mentioned that don't worry about syllabus very much. Make a schedule, reschedule when you are lagging, and revisit your strategy after every 15 days. That I had to finish this MCQs books in 15 days. If you are not able to finish in 15 days, revisit your schedule and make a new one. If you keep on revisiting your strategy, that how much days are left in my exam, how many more months I have, keep on revisiting and scheduling that what I need to do now, be smart about it. Passing criteria is basically the same percentile model followed like any other exam. Currently they have 66 and 69%. Have to pass both papers separately. There are no, you have to pass individually paper 1 and paper 2. There are no grace marks. There is no need to retake and retotal, they have already done that for you. But there is no negative marking as well. I remember a friend told me that he left 3 MCQs because he didn't know the answer. The poor guy didn't know that there is no negative marking. And he failed by 3 or 4 marks. Don't leave anything empty or vacant. MRCS B, now we will move to B. As I have mentioned before, for A, it's okay to study on your own. But for B, please join the course. There are many courses available online, and we are publicizing our own course that we conduct for last 7 years. This is one of the options. We do hands-on and mocks as well during our workshops. All 3 of us, the principal faculty, have years and years of experience in UK, and we have been teaching MRCS for many years now. And this is one of the courses that you can book. Slides of MRCS. This is basically a clinical oriented exams. There will be basically 18 to 20 stations. It's mandatory to pass all of the stations. If you fail a station, you fail all of your exam. That is one major hindrance. Even if you fail one station, your exam is failed. They are all interactive. There is no OSCE. These are interactive exams. There will be examiner at every station. There will be observer as well. And there might be 2 examiners. So at some stations, you might find 3 people. At some station, there will be 1 examiner. So don't get panicked by the number of people there. Each station has 20 marks and again a percentile. By percentile, what we mean is that if there is a easy station, like everybody will be scoring 19 or 20, the passing mark will be average of the student marks, if that makes sense. Like in an easy station, if everybody scoring 19, they will fail the person with 18 marks. And in a very, very difficult station, never seen before, if the students have scoring 13, 14, 13, 14, 12 will be the passing mark. So that's what we mean by percentile. Basically, in simple words, if we have a difficult station, it will mean it more easy to pass, by the way. This is a scheme. This is a very important slide. You can take a screenshot. There are 4 stations of examination, 9 minutes each. In those 9 minutes, you will perform on the patient, a live patient, 95% of the time a live patient, not a dummy. Only in ALS and BLS patients, they give a dummy. Otherwise, most of the time it's a real patient with real clinical findings. One difference from the other local exam is that they are actual patients with real findings. So there will be 9 minutes in each examination station. For 5 minutes you perform. For 1 minute you present your finding to the examiner. And for 3 minutes you will answer his very basic questions related to the examinations. It's like a 3-minute viva, but these will be very common sense questions that generally you should answer. Like if you are doing a thyroid examination and you have presented your findings for a multinodular writer, he may ask you what is E3, what is E4, what is ES, what are the conditions in which there is hyperthyroidism, what are the conditions in which there is hypothyroidism, what is the basic one of very superficial viva that a postgraduate PG1 or PG2 can easily answer. That's his history. There are 2 histories of 9 minutes each. There is no viva in history station. There is just 5 to 6 minutes of history, and then you present your history, and then he will ask your differential diagnosis. That's it. He will not go beyond differential diagnosis in history stations. So these are the 6 stations that ace are most of the time. Procedural skills, may ask you to do an IV line. It may be as simple as doing a blood pressure, and it may be as complex as doing a surgical anastomosis. More commonly occurring scenarios are suturing and knotting. And sometimes it can be more complex at doing a more complex thing. But it's basically a 9-minute straight station. No viva, no answers, no questions. You just perform a procedure, and they will ask you what you have done, and what do you have in your hand, what sutures are those, what kind of anastomosis you have done, what the technique that you have used. Very simple things. You have 9 minutes for each of them at one. So these are the 8 questions, and then 2 we have from communication. Communication is further divided into information giving and information receiving. So information giving is basically you are talking to a colleague over the telephone. One blessing is that it's a 8-minute station. So first of all, you will be preparing the patient. They will give you a file of a patient and give you a piece of paper and pencil to prepare your own notes. Like you do in a ward round before presenting to your professor. You take out the main points, that what is the current condition, what is happening with the patient, and so on and so forth, what are the vitals, what I have to do. And then there will be a telephone call with the patient, with the colleague. For example, you have to talk to a senior colleague to shift the patient to ICU. You have to talk to a doctor, to a consultant about a critical patient, things like that. The second communication station is counseling. There will be a patient or a relative. He might be angry, he might be sad, it might be breaking bad news. Very similar to counseling. So these are the end stations from clinical. And now we have 8 or 9 stations there from basic. Then 3 for monotony, 9 minutes each. There will be spotting, there will be dummies, there will be skeletons, there will be skulls, there will be passing rounds through sutures and not in what is that. Very similar to what we need to do in first year second year monotony. Very deep. One thing that we missed out late is that we think that they will not add too much monotony. No. It's basically a full-fledged monotony exam that you have to prepare. And there are 3 stations. It carries a lot of value as well. So, other thing that we are going to it's physiology. So they have 3 stations as well. There will be scenarios like something that gone wrong with the patient. And there will be 20 very simple questions. You have to answer 20 questions in 9 minutes. But don't worry about the time. But this time, the onus for completing the examination or the station in time lays with the examiner. So he will quickly ask you, for example, if there is a scenario about TRP syndrome, there will be a scenario and he will ask in 20 questions. That what has happened with the patient, what levels you will do, and what is the clinical condition. Things like that. Very simple questions that you can answer in 5 to 10 seconds basically. When I appeared in my examination, I was very worried about it, that how will I finish 20 questions in 9 minutes. But I realized when I finished my exam that I finished almost 18 in 6 minutes. So the remaining 3 minutes or 2 minutes that you will have, you can ask the examiner humbly that can you ask me the questions that I didn't answer. For example, if I don't know the answer of question number 7, I will ask the examiner to kindly move to the next questions. I will answer it at the end. So initially, if I have missed question number 7, 11 or 15, and there are still 3 minutes to go, I can ask my examiner to re-ask me the question, and they normally do, and you can rescore. So very, very able viva sort of questions. Critical care is also able viva, very similar to pathophysiology. But sometimes, especially from the last 3-4 years, they are now giving a critical patient scenario, basically a BLS scenario or ABC scenario, in which you have to do either airway, breathing or circulation. Basically what happens there is a scenario outside, and you go inside and you talk to the patient with mostly a dummy, and he is not answering. You call him again and he's not answering again. And then you realize that the patient is unconscious. And that's the signal to do airway, breathing and circulation. And they want to see how good you are in it. It might include an ALS or a BLS in it. There will be no ELS because it's very advanced, but it may have a BLS. And there are a couple of rest stations as well. So if you see, there are 9-minute stations, 18-minute station as well, and there can be a couple of rest stations as well. This exam will go on for 3-4 hours basically. So make sure whenever you have an opportunity, outside your station there will be candies and chocolates. Make sure to eat something, especially at rest station. In 95% of the stations, they place something to eat. So make sure you eat something even if you are not hungry to maintain that sugar level. It's a very physically demanding exam. You have different energy levels at station number 1, and by the time you go to station 16 and 17, you are so fatigued and tired out. One reason of me passing in my first attempt was that I was very energetic back then, about 8-9 years ago. and I was very bubbly and energetic, and that is why I finished the exam with full energy. Where I remember all of my colleagues, they were so exhausted at their station 18 and 19 that they were not able to perform fully because of the fatigue. So make sure that you maintain a physical stamina to undergo a interactive exam. Mental exercise, a physical exercise, they get your reflexes for 3 to 4 hours. Get ready for that. Practice for that. If you practice and you are finishing a station at home in 3 to 4 minutes, you will practically finish it in 6 minutes in real exam. So memorize and practice again and again and again. As I already explained, there are 4 examination stations, and what I did or my colleagues did or what I'm teaching my student now with the help of my teacher, Armin Nawasa, that we are giving students are preparing notes. So prepare your own notes by whichever workshop you do and make a small notes of what I had to say, what I had to do. Your own notes are very helpful. And to strengthen your knowledge, you can have doctor exam, thematic videos on YouTube, very, very useful videos. In opposing to other videos, what I like the most about them is that they're time bound. So you know what to skip. For example, if there is a station to do cranial nerves, it makes sense that you do a time bound examination and you don't do 3 or 4 clinical tests for each nerve. That will take about half an hour. For example, FCPS or FRCP, physician is doing a clinical nerve, he will do it in 20 minutes. You don't have to do that. You have to do it in 5 minutes. So these videos and workshops, they are all there to help you to finish in time and what to choose and what not to choose. That is why the exam cannot be completed by just doing books. Because only a teacher or a simulation or a mock exam can teach you what to do when you are short in time. And you also have passed the MRCS school. For MRCS A, we recommended EMRCS school. For MRCS B, we recommend pass the MRCS school. Pass the MRCS school also contains the common scenarios, common situations, what to do, what not to do. And they are very helpful in part B. So, if I were you, what I will do, I will do a workshop for 3 to 4 days, prepare my own notes, and then I will bypass the MRCS school and prepare my stations again and again. And then when I have that 2 months in my hand then I will stop everything else and I will keep on doing my examinations and history and procedures again and again and again to practice them and to keep them at my spinal cord level rather than a memory at higher level so that I can quickly do it when it's needed. 2 history stations we have already discussed. It's very useful to make your own notes by a workshop. You can buy an MRCS tool. And what I really like about this book, Kathleen Parchment Smith, she has about 20 histories in which she has written in bold what to say. English is not our first language. Sometimes in an exam question scenario, we make a lot of mistakes just because English is not coming to us as a reflex. What she has done, she has given some sample histories and given you some sentences that you can learn by heart. For procedure skills, again, your own notes, thematic videos, and a MRCS tool. Thematic videos are especially very helpful in procedures. Communication station, As earlier, there is one telephonic station with your Olive and one counseling. Dr. Zam had written very good questions. Dr. Zam had written very good questions in it. So that's a very useful scenario for counseling. And you will have 9 minutes of preparation as well. There will be basic stations. For basic station, the more you memorize, the more chances of getting a good score. I know a lot of people who pass their clinical exam and fail their basic. Don't be one of them. Buy a MRCS tool, pass the MRCS or any other tool. Go to your anatomy, go to your basic station at least twice, so that by the time you appear in your exam, you have enough knowledge that you don't fail your knowledge element. I have already given you the resources for that. Past MRCS is a very good tool. There is no performance increase. There is 9 minutes of Viva with 20 minutes of questions. By Viva I mean simple questions in physiology and pathology. There will be no part 2 level exam. It's a basic exam to enter you into specialty. They don't want you to be a consultant. They just want you to be a registrar. They just want you to be a registrar. And it's not a fellowship level exam. This is just a membership level exam. And total exam duration is 3 to 4 hours. Remember, you need a lot of mental exercise and physical exercise. And then when you achieve your MRCS, there will be ceremonies and convocations. That's why we do it. And that is to the end of our lecture. If you have any questions or queries, you can mention below on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook channel, and I'm very happy to answer your questions and queries. Thank you.